and there was a tornado, so we ended up like sheltering in place or whatever. And then we went out after the aftermath, and there were pieces of other people's house in the yard.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, we got lucky.
Tornadoes are such a personal attack. Like an earthquake affects everybody. Tidal wave affects everybody. A tornado could just be Bob's house.
Yeah.
It's like,
This video is brought to you by Stand Up to Cancer. We'll hear more about them later. For now, let's get on to today's video.
welcome to Room 6, the channel dedicated to local and not so local music and the people that make it, including my guests. And my guests today are a Pittsburgh-based three-piece DI Records recording artist metal band by way of Missouri. And with over 10 years melting faces, they've shared the stage with bands like OTEP and Soulfly. I actually reviewed their single Eternity on the channel, and you can check it out when you're done watching this, with a tagline that says, "A band screaming life to its fullest." Please welcome to the channel, Dematus. Hi, guys.
Hello.
First of all, did I screw up already? Eternity was a single, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. For a second, I had this fear that it was an EP or something. So anyway, hi. If you don't know who Dematus is, thank you for watching. Please let the people know who you are and what you do in the band.
So we are like a rock/metal band. It's like we have like hard rock songs in metal, and I am like the vocalist that screams and sings and plays guitar.
And then I play bass.
I forgot to say my name's Jessica. So.
Thank you. I was waiting. I was like, what I meant was, who are you, not who is Dematus. Go ahead.
My name is Brian, and I play bass.
And I'm Ryan, and I'm the drummer.
There you go. If you want to be on the channel like them, you want to be reviewed, interviewed, or both, hit me up using my email address down in the description, or you can click the Room 6 social media link. That tells you all the places I'm at online and what I'm up to, and also ways you can support the channel, should you choose to. Thanks. Oh, while you're down there, feel free to subscribe, like, share, all those YouTube things. Thanks. Now then, I have a couple of usual interview questions that I ask, and we'll get to those. But first, why the name?
So we used to have like a band name that was different in Missouri. It was called Theory of God, and it was a name that gave us a lot of trouble. It was like we couldn't like really win. It was called Theory of God. And it was like we had the religious people that were like, God's not a theory, and then we had like the metalheads/rock people that were like, oh, I'm not down with God. So we couldn't get anywhere, and I wanted to choose a name that didn't mean anything at all. Like it had nothing behind it. And I like went through a dictionary, and I was just like, you know what? I've always liked spiders, and I found like a scientific name of a certain spider. It's like a spider that has like a cross on the back, and it was called Arrhenius. I could be saying this wrong. Arrhenius diadematus, and I just took Dematus out of it, and I was like, boom, it means nothing. And so in my logo, like the M is like a spider. That's what it was like inspired by.
It all becomes clear. All right, cool. Because it's not a usual name, obviously, and nobody in the band has anything remotely close to that name, and it's not like a portmanteau of all of your names or something. So I was like, I gotta ask, because what the heck is Dematus? And the whole time, I think when I did the review of Eternity, I said Dematus, so apologies for that.
That's all good.
But
Everyone pronounces it like that, but we don't really care.
I looked on your Facebook, I looked on everywhere. You might want to just throw a little line in your bio or something saying pronounced and then phonetically.
Yeah.
Just
that'd
saying.
be good.
Idea. Put a little parentheses underneath.
I get one good idea a day, and I wasted it on that. So from there, I want to go ahead and talk about earliest musical influences. And what I mean by that is not who did you listen to growing up. I want to ask, do you remember a moment where you said, I want to do that?
The moment I realized I wanted to play bass was I went to Sounds of the Underground tour with a bunch of my friends, and we were just talking about it probably for like a week straight afterwards, and then they all played guitar, and I didn't play anything. So I was like, well, I'm not going to play guitar because there's already 3 guitar players that I'm friends with. I was like, I'm just going to go get a bass, and then we just all started playing together.
Yeah, and for me, I was really, really young, but my mom's ex-boyfriend was in the Santa Clara Vanguard, which is one of the DCI bands, Drum Corps International, so marching band. He was in the drum corps, and then he became one of the drum corps instructors. I believe he was a snare line instructor. So we used to get tickets to go to Drum Corps International Championships and all that stuff, and I was like 5 years old. Well, I ended up I can't remember if it was him or my mom got me a practice pad and drumsticks. So that's just kind of where it all started.
Mine, I remember the specific moment. I was in elementary school, and my mom had this red Chevy Lumina, and I was getting out of elementary school, and I got into her car, and she was listening to Cinderella, and it was like, don't know what you got till it's gone. It was like that guitar solo, and I remember telling myself, like, whatever instrument that is, I want to play that one day.
Honestly, in over 4.5 years of doing this, no one has ever referenced Cinderella. That is awesome. And I know I'm old enough. I remember when MTV had music videos in VH1, but I also remember their Metal Mania or metal that hour they had of metal videos, and they'd lump Cinderella in with the metal, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so from Cinderella, I mean, that's a bit of a leap to what you guys do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So where did the heavy come in?
Oh, that's...
I think for me, it was my friend Nancy. Like, it was like middle school. Like, she she let me listen to Rob Zombie, and I was just like, that was the first time really hearing screaming, I guess. And I was like, that opened up the door for me. Like, I was just like, got into the heavier side. I don't know, but
Ever since I remember, I liked heavy metal music since I was a little kid. I mean, I'm the youngest of like of 5, so I was influenced by always my brothers and sisters always listening to like the heavier music, and then so I was just, like I said, young age, just always listening to it.
Mine kind of comes from mostly my dad, as we were like growing up and stuff, nonstop playing 80s metal, playing one of his favorite bands was always Metallica. I never got into Metallica, but they were always on, and then there was always a mixture of other things. My mom was real big into like Poison and Slaughter and stuff, and I just kind of grew up around 80s metal. And then as I got into like middle school and high school and stuff, and the middle school is kind of around the time that White Zombie kind of turned into Rob Zombie, and I ended up buying the Hellbilly Deluxe off of. You used to be able to get those catalogs in the mail with the little stickers, and you could like stick the sticker on, and it's like BMG music or something like that, and you could get like 5 CDs for like $10 or whatever it was, and I ended up picking Rob Zombie, and I did end up getting a Metallica album. I ended up getting the Black Album, of course. Those were my primary 2, and then Korn Issues, and it just kind of blew up from there.
Yeah, Metallica was the gateway drug for a lot of people into metal, but Korn definitely was the we can do that too kind of moment. Yep. And
mine was Disturbed.
What was that?
I said, mine was Disturbed.
Yeah. And I will die on the hill that Disturbed's versions of The Sound of Silence is way better than the original.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Most of their covers are better than the originals that they're covering. They're ridiculously.
Yeah. I could do without the double libret and the soul pad. I could do without that personally, but that's his, that's his look. Why mess with what works, right?
He hasn't grown out of it yet.
He doesn't have to. That when you're a famous musician, you don't have to grow out of stuff.
Nope.
Unless you're toxic, but whatever. For me, going back to the MTV and the VH1, I when I was in college and I was trying to figure out my voice, all I had was an acoustic guitar. I was writing love songs, I was missing a girl, yada yada yada. But I started paying attention to this was in you see, kids. There used to be these things called audio cassette. No, but this was grunge was this was in the 90s, and grunge was its thing. Metal was just starting to get heavier and faster, and we were done with glam metal, and Poison and all that. And the two main factors for me as a singer songwriter was Eddie Vedder, okay, for pure just like you want to talk about putting everything you have into a performance and when you write like you don't care if people understand what the words are coming out of your mouth, but and just Pearl Jam in general, but also Metallica. I strove to sing like Eddie Vedder, but with James Hetfield's enunciation. Vida, do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ego, let go my ego.
Exactly. As someone who reviews a lot of music, there are times where I'm like, please have a lyric video. Please have a lyric video. I have no idea. Or I have to reach out and say, can I get the lyrics? Because you are so guttural, you're not even close to words, man. There was a band that early on just gave me a CD, and number one, the band logo was so spiky, couldn't figure out if they didn't tell me, I couldn't figure out the name of the band. I mean, I know that's a meme, I know that's a joke.
Yeah.
But it was true. And then I listened to it and I'm like, I honestly I can't hear a single English word. I cannot figure out at all what you're saying. And I think they had liner notes, so it made it like easy to figure out, but liner notes are important. I digress. Enough of that. Old man yells at cloud, I know. So from there, I wanted to ask, who's responsible for the spider porn?
The spider what?
The spider
porn? Yeah. Who had the spiders? That was molting.
I did.
Yeah. You still have it?
Yeah, like I actually, so I had two. Like I still have one. His name's Lestat, and so but the one that I did, the one that I had in the photo shoots and stuff, and her name was Wednesday, and she was pretty old. Like I mean, I got her from somebody, and but yeah, like I
She was
had her.
already pretty old when you got her.
Yeah, like I had her in tons of the photo shoots and stuff. She was awesome. Her name was Wednesday. So
she lost one of her legs and it grew back.
Yeah, like she got knocked off of a counter and like it got loose and the cat like took one of its legs, but it grew back. So
I didn't know that was a thing spiders could do.
Yeah, it was creepy.
Yeah. Way to stick to the brand, Wednesday. All right. So from there, I wanted to ask, what is like the dream gig for Dematus? You've played some shows with pretty big band names.
Yes.
Is there a dream gig? Like, is there something you're just like, someday we're gonna, we want to be on their radar, or a particular lineup you would love to be part of?
The thing that sucks about that bar keeps raising because we've already done that so many times. Like, all the bands that we've played with were like bands that we grew up listening to. So like when we ended up playing the Korn and Rob Zombie show, we were like, this is it. This is the biggest. And like now the bar just keeps going up and we're like, I don't know, who would it be now?
I think there's this band, like, I don't know, they're kind of like new on the radar, and it's just like, I just think I like love to do a song with him or just to open up for him. His name's Eminence, and he plays violin and he sings and screams, and I was like, it'd be so cool to just play a show with him because he plays violin and he sings and screams, and I play guitar and I sing and scream. So I was like, that'd be the perfect matchup, and I've been trying to make that happen. Like I shoot them a message because they actually came here for the first time ever last month in the United States and played a Pittsburgh show. And I was like hoping so much to like get on to that show with them.
It's interesting because like we started playing with a lot of these big bands that we grew up listening to. Like we played with Mushroom Heads, Soulfly, Soilwork, Korn, Rob Zombie, all of them.
Chimera.
Now it's like our dream bands that we are obsessed with they're amazing. Like their music is incredible, their songwriting is incredible, their voices and instrumentals, everything. but they're so much lesser known, but they're like dream bands for us. Like Eminence deserves so much more than that. Like they should be proud of what they've achieved so far. They're amazing, but they are an incredible band, and like to be able to play with them would be like a new peak. Even though, like, you know,
nobody knows
when
who
you
they
say
are.
Eminence, like people are like, oh, who's that? Some people might know him, some people might not. But like you say Rob Zombie, like no one, everyone knows Rob. Even if you don't listen to Rob Zombie, you know who Rob Zombie is.
Now, for a personal thing for me, I want to start doing like all the major music festivals, and I want to play at Red Rock Arena in Colorado.
Oh yeah,
I would love to just play there.
Yeah, that's on a lot of people's bucket lists, myself included. Which won't happen because I haven't touched those in a long time. I have a line of music that says "Make music, not excuses." I have a line of merch specifically for me. Like I wear it and I'm like, yeah, I know. Go touch the stuff. Go make music.
I love that. That's a good shirt. I mean, like,
Yep.
That's a good saying. Like, make music, less excuses.
And if you want some merch that says "Make music, not excuses," or "I make music, what's your superpower?" Go to Room Go to room6.shop. Branding, merch.
That's awesome.
Room6.shop, though I do have merch. Anyway, before we get any further, I'm going to take a quick message here to talk about another way you can help the channel. We're going to hear a message from Future Josh. So here you go.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Thanks, Josh from the past. Generally, I'm an easygoing guy with love for most people and things. But you know what I really hate? Fucking cancer. Like many of you, it's affected my family too, and it really needs to go. In fact, there will be 5,200 people diagnosed with cancer today alone. That's why I'm partnering with Stand Up to Cancer. Stand Up to Cancer funds and develops the newest and most promising cancer treatments to help patients today. They dramatically accelerate the rate of new discoveries by connecting top scientists in unprecedented collaborations to create breakthroughs. Their innovations lead to better cancer preventions, diagnoses, and treatment, which means that we can help save lives now. They're committed to funding ambitious and robust research and awareness efforts focused on incorporating health equity in cancer care for the benefit of all patients facing cancer. The best part? 100% of your donations support Stand Up to Cancer and its collaborative cancer research programs. Just for watching this video, and for being part of Room 6, and for a limited time, you can use my affiliate link down in the description to get 10% off your first order when you sign up for email. Plus, you'll be helping out the channel and the cancer fight. Thanks to Stand Up for Cancer for being a sponsor, and let's get back to the show.
We're back, and if that sponsor spot interested you at all, please consider clicking the link down in the description for it. It'll help me out, it'll help you out. You save money, I get money, win-win, yada yada. Speaking of which, if you have any sort of suggestions for the channel, for sponsors, for acts that I should have on, hit me up down in the comments. Let's get that algorithm engaged. All right, back to you guys. Give me a compare and contrast of Missouri metal versus Philly metal, the scenes.
Missouri, I feel like Missouri was more like...
So it's kind of a tough question.
Like at the time, it was like hardcore, like the hardcore...
A lot of breakdowns.
And it was just like a very hard scene to get going. Like it was just like kind of at the time I saw things die off like right before we moved out here. So it was just like a kind of like night and day. It was just like because we even like lost our rock station in Missouri. It was 100.1 The Buzz, and it was like we lost that, and like even like certain venues were like shutting down. So like at the time that I was like doing that, it was like a hard scene. And then out here, I felt like I grew more as a musician and opportunities when I moved out here. So that was kind of like the difference for me.
So yeah, I would say the biggest thing is that there's really not that many places to play out there. So in Missouri, so a lot of the places you got to do everything yourself. It's like a DIY show. You got to promote it. You got to run sound. You got to book the bands. You got to do all the work. And then here, there's so many music venues and so many bands on it. Like everyone kind of helps each other out and does their own job. And then to where you can have a great show, and all you got to pretty much do, is just worry about playing.
Yeah, a lot. I like the DIY comment because, like, I think about it. A lot of the shows were like we played like a pub. Remember that show we played and it was like in a park, and we were.
Oh yeah, we played in a gazebo. I mean,
Yeah.
like a pavilion.
Yeah, we played under.
Well,
a
we played in a
pavilion,
gazebo
and there
before
was a
too.
good amount of people. Yeah, we played in a gazebo. We played at a skate park. Like
We played
it was
in a pizza shop.
big cement skate park in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, we played at a place called Blackthorn
That
Yeah,
place
Black
was
Pizza.
awesome.
That was really cool. And that place was awesome. When we did have bigger shows, they were usually just in St. Louis. We'd play at like Pops or whatever in St. Louis. And yeah, the problem was like we were in the middle of the state and you had to drive like 2 hours no matter which way you went just to play a show. And
At least.
yeah, and then the scene started dying. Like for a while there, like when the band very, very, very first started, you were able to sell out entire community centers, and you'd have a line of people like half a mile long for this like underground show that a rented out community center. And then it went from that to all of a sudden, like the metal scene just kind of, I don't know if people got sick of like the same cookie cutter stuff over and over and over again or what the deal was, but it just kind of died off like in general. So like the rock metal station disappeared, venues were disappearing left and right. One of the last few good venues in the state at the Surge in Joplin got torn out by that F5 tornado. Like
Rest in peace, the Surge.
yeah, the Surge. The Surge and that weird McDonald's. Oh man.
You guys remember that McDonald's that like went over the I-44?
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was a weird one too.
Yeah, there's this weird McDonald's. We felt very uncomfortable. We stopped in there to eat before a show at the Surge, and it felt like we were eating
In the Twilight Zone.
in the movie Wrong Turn. Like everybody that walked in there, and it was weird. Like not trying to judge anybody, but it was actually very scary. It was just a McDonald's, like but it was every single one. It was so weird. But yeah, that was a weird McDonald's. I think that McDonald's got ripped out by the tornado too.
It definitely would have made it if the McDonald's started playing banjo music.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
that would have been it.
No, man. You should have been playing a show in the venue next to McDonald's when the tornado hit. That's what you should do.
My old neighborhood got wiped out by that tornado out there too. I'm glad I'm living in the house.
Yeah, we had a lot of tornadoes out there.
Yeah.
Even in the house, we lived in this house in the middle of nowhere on like 40 acres. And there was a tornado, so we ended up like sheltering in place or whatever. And then we went out after the aftermath, and there were pieces of other people's house in the yard.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, we got lucky.
Tornadoes are such a personal attack. Like an earthquake affects everybody. Tidal wave affects everybody. A tornado could just be Bob's house.
Yeah.
It's like, screw you, Bob. You know.
I like how you said that, a personal attack. Now I won't look at tornadoes the same. It's like this tornado's like, I'm going to get you, I'm going to get you.
It was always tornadoes. And out here, and this is a very mountainy, hilly area, like tornadoes aren't really a thing. They say they happen here, but they're not really a thing. They're like little nature farts. But we come out here and we hear this siren all the time. We're like, why are there so many tornadoes in Pennsylvania? Then come to find out, like after a couple weeks of being out here, you find out that all of the volunteer fire departments, when they're calling all the firefighters to the department to go respond to like an emergency, that's the siren they use. So they use tornado sirens out here to call the fire department in. Or what we know as tornado sirens.
It definitely messed with me because I remember the one time I was like sleeping and like woke up to the siren and I was like started freaking out thinking like there was a tornado and I like moved my curtain aside and I was like it's sunny, like what is this?
Why is the state so weird?
That's funny. I like the what would you call it? Tornado farts?
Nature farts.
Nature farts.
Yeah,
That's good.
Like, or tornado touched it. Like Brian and I went when we first moved out here. We went to Staples to go get some like resumes
yeah.
to go print some resumes, and it was like real windy or whatever. And we are like, okay, so we got there, got the resumes, went back to my dad's, and then my dad's like, you guys were driving through a tornado. We're like, tornado? Like, that was a nature fart. Like, they haven't seen a tornado till they've been out to the Midwest. The Midwest has tornadoes.
Yeah, exactly. When you have to have insurance for a cow hitting the side of your barn.
Yes. Flying cows happen. Out here, the cow just gets blown around a little bit. Like, it's just a little bit of wind. And everyone's like, oh, it's a tornado.
You know, you should do a music video like with a fake tornado type thing.
I think Mudvayne did it already.
Get a hair dryer
Man.
with a Barbie.
Hair dryer with a Barbie.
Yeah.
Special effects.
Nice. All right, so a couple more questions, and then I forgot to say we're going to be checking out a music video from them after this interview. So stick around. Do we know what music video that's going to be, guys?
Let's do breathing.
Breathing in.
Breathing in.
Yeah, let's do
I like
breathing
breathing
in.
in.
All right, there you go. So stick around. We're going to see the music video for Breathing In, which they're going to send me when we're done here.
Yes.
Hint, hint. Anywho, so we talked about earliest musical influence. We talked about kind of the dream gig. Now I want to ask, what is your favorite show memory performing as Dematus? And it could be one where things went way off the rails and it was just a comedy of errors. It could be you checked off a lot of rock star wish list things. Somebody went to jail, whatever. Just, what is that memory that you would pull out at a party and be like, this was so amazing. I got to tell you this.
Okay, so I could start off. So one that I always relive in my mind is we played a show with New Year's Day in Pittsburgh, and we're very similar, New Year's Day and us. Like, I would say that we're a good lineup for each other, but it was just a huge crowd, and then I just remember everyone was just, the energy there was really good. I remember just running across the stage, and everyone was just reaching up, and I was just like grabbing everyone's hands, and then I like jump off the stage, and I was playing my bass in the middle of the crowd, and everyone was just around me, just taking pictures, and just, I don't know, you just tell it was just making everyone's night. And then at the end of the show, we had this huge line for everyone to meet us, and that was like kind of like the first time that's ever happened to us, and it was just a special moment for me, because I was like, man, this is the first time everyone's actually wanting to come up and like talk to us and meet us.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the best memory I have. That's the first one that comes to my mind, actually. So
I think mine's probably the best and worst memory, but it's not even about the show. Like, it was one of those.
One he's gonna say.
It was one of those makeshift shows. It's always gonna go back to that.
I don't even know
There was a trailer park, and there was flash floods, and there was kittens, and there was legs getting crushed by a truck and a tree. It was awesome.
There's car wrecks, cats, and flooding.
Yeah, and hillbillies with shotguns
and ropes.
Yeah, we actually did get threatened. Like, it was a crazy night. Where was it? Columbia, Missouri?
No, it wasn't even Columbia. Who knows? We were just
in the middle of nowhere.
It was the middle of nowhere on our way home from the show.
We had to stop there because our alternator.
Yeah,
we had no
alternator went out, so we didn't have any headlights. And the friend that we stayed was riding next to us to be our headlights, so we can get to the trailer park safely.
And it was a weird trailer. It wasn't even like a trailer park. It was just like a bunch of trailers in the woods with like one road in, one road out. And it was like his girlfriend's house or something like that.
And you had to cross over a little bridge,
which got flooded. So
there was a flash flood that night.
So we couldn't leave. So whenever we went to see how we could leave, like on our way to trying to find out, there was this person who came out with a shotgun and was just like, "I'd be careful walking around these parts." Like, he was just like, "We shoot people around here," and I was just like, "Well, we're just trying to figure out how to get out." And then like we ended up going to the bridge.
There was a tree in the culvert blocking from the water going in, so the water was going up over the bridge.
It was like 3 feet of water just flooding over the top. So that was the only way out of this trailer park.
And so we were gonna tie a rope around his waist to make him find out how deep it was.
We did tie a rope
around his waist.
We gave him another rope because he was supposed to tie the rope around the tree and we were gonna pull it out.
Yeah.
So there's a rope tied to me, and then there's a rope tied to the vehicle, and then I walked out. I waded out into the floodwaters, and then I was gonna wrap the other rope around the tree that was blocking it, so then the little GMC Jimmy or whatever it was could pull the tree out.
Which is what happened. They pulled the tree out, but on the way back to the trailer, like, these two were riding on the back of the Jeep, and I was inside the Jeep, and this guy was like trying to be funny by like swerving around like with them on the back.
It's all dirt roads.
And he lost control and pinned.
Crashed into a tree. I jumped off.
Yeah,
I was like, fuck this, I'm
into-
jumping off.
Yeah, he crashed into a tree and his leg got pinned between the tree and the vehicle.
In the tailgate.
Yeah, and he like crushed the whole back end of the vehicle.
Yeah, it's like my leg imprint in the back of the vehicle, like Wile E. Coyote.
It was just.
This is all after a show. That's what brought it up. That was like my favorite show memory because like the show was just like one of those weird makeshift shows, and then everything from that point on was like a fever dream chaos, and it just kept getting weirder and weirder, and like all that happened, but that was the next morning. So the night of, there was a whole lot of Fleetwood Mac and random kittens.
Yeah, like there was like 10 kittens that they had like in the trailer park.
And he was like the dude, like the dad or whatever, was like in his living room watching Fleetwood Mac DVDs on repeat. And then there were random kittens, and I'm like laying on my back on the floor of the van, and I'm covered in kittens.
It was just like weird. It was like you couldn't even make up that night. Like it was just like really far out there. Like,
it was a fever dream, but it was real. It actually happened.
I don't know what I expected when I asked that question, but that wasn't it.
We got some crazy stories.
Yeah.
This is just the beginning.
There's probably weirder ones. That was just like my favorite because it was so out there.
We used to have a concoction in our van. It was a liquid that we kept inside of a bottle.
Todd bottle.
We just cracked it open and it sent someone to the hospital.
How have you not written a song about this?
We should. We should. It was the most like anything you could think of that can rot. We were putting inside this bottle for months.
And this guy drank it. He drank out of the bottle, and he like literally almost died. He went into the hospital and was in there for quite some time from being poisoned from that bottle.
This was the guy that escorted us to the middle of the woods trailer park. But this was a different time. That
You know,
wasn't part of the dream.
On the one hand, I want to say, since he did the whole escort thing and all that, you owe him like free tickets for life. But then he went and drank that stuff. He did that to himself.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
You win. That's the weirdest story I've ever heard. I mean, I've got a couple myself, but man, you win.
I mean, I guess I could bring up another crazy moment of like.
Yeah, it's kind of your turn for story time.
It was
Anyways.
like
Do tell.
Not really one of my favorite moments or anything. It's just like more of like at the beginning moment of like where I was just up on stage, kind of like in a state of shock, like just continue playing my guitar, like because it was like this person came from the audience and put him into a headlock and like made him drop his bass. And I remember like he got so mad and like he hit the kid in the face, and it was just like a fight broke out, and I was just standing there like going like, what the fuck's happening? Like I just couldn't believe like
It was like a bar fight in the middle of our
it was a bar
show.
fight in the middle of the show.
And just in case you're wondering, I did win the fight.
His bass, I think, still has battle scars from that.
Yeah,
It does.
It's got like a chunk in
It's
it.
just one of those moments that I wouldn't say it was my favorite. It was just like one of those moments that I was just like, what is happening? Like,
They give you crazy stories, and me, I'm just like, I give you the story. We're like, man, I think we can actually do this.
His is like heartwarming. Like it was a great show. We're signing autographs. It was an amazing experience.
I think I need to change that question to, what is your most memorable memory?
yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
It's probably the same answer, though.
That is cute. That's precious. All right. All right, cool. Stick around. We have a music video coming for, what is the name of the song again?
Breathing in.
in.
Breathing In.
Yes.
Cool.
Not breathing in.
Right. Because that's what I thought. Anyway. But so we got one more question. You made it. Yay. Last question. But before that, stick around. And if you want to know more about them, I will have links down in the description for their social media and all that jazz. And if you're an act that is anywhere remotely close to Pittsburgh and you want to, or Philly, and you want to, reach out to DI Records, I'll put a link down there for them, their website as well. They've been so generous. And Dakota from DI Records has given me so much content. I can't even say thank you enough. I have interviewed literally someone in the country of Georgia, someone in Buenos Aires, someone in Moscow, you guys. So and I have more on the books coming from the UK. I think in Ireland, that's coming.
Wow.
So yeah, I think that's tomorrow actually. But it really is one of those moments of just like, how did this happen? You know, because I mean, it started with just interviewing musicians I knew. I did music in Vegas for 10 years. And after the last time a band broke up, I was like, I'm kind of done for now. I'm going to take a hiatus. And that one thing led to another, and here I am. But again, thank you, DI Records. Thank you very much. So, last question. Here we go. We're circling back, and you OG Room Sixers, the ones who watch my interviews, you know what's coming. I asked this of all my prey. We're circling back to that first question of earliest musical influence. Let's pretend we're talking to little you, okay? This question is really geared towards that new musician. The one who comes up and says, how do I be like you? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, the one that doesn't know where to start maybe, or says, I want to do that, just like you did. Let's pretend you have a time machine. You can go back and tell yourself one thing that you really wish someone had told you. It doesn't have to be a warning. It doesn't have to be anything bad or whatever. But what is one thing you wish someone had told you before going down this twisted road that is performing music? And don't say change your strings.
I know the perfect answer.
Don't drink the mystery juice.
Yes.
I would tell my younger self, it's okay to go down your own path musically, like, and have your own unique sound, even though people may not understand what you're doing, to keep going. And even if people just stand there in the audience and don't quite get it, that's okay. And to also know that even if there's just 2 people in the audience at your show, that you still matter, and that you're actually making a difference, and like to keep going like that, even if you change just those 2 people's lives, like that's worth it. To not put so much pressure on yourself to if you're not meeting this standard that they put into your minds, like that's okay. Like to just keep your head up and to not fall into that mindset of like, well, I must suck or I should quit, like, and I've never mattered or did anything great because I am not on this level.
And I would tell myself to be patient. It's a long, long, bumpy road.
I think I would tell myself most sound guys are grumpy, and
I wouldn't use it as grumpy.
and be versatile, because you're probably not going to be playing your own drum set most of the time.
That's very true, especially when you only get like a 15-minute set.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy. Don't be that person that brings the rack.
I'm that guy, but I'm not usually the one that, like, no one ever wants to play my drum set. So.
Right. Well, there you go. I mean, all stage advice. I couldn't say it better myself. Thank you again for coming on the channel. Thank you for watching. Stick around. We're going to see that music video for Breathing In. Enunciation. And then we'll catch you in the outro. In the meantime, temporarily say goodbye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.
See you in a bit.
Hi, welcome. Hi guys, thanks for coming. Come on in.
I want to thank Dematus for coming on the channel. It was a great interview and awesome music video. If you want to know more about them, check out those links down in the description that I told you about. And if you want to be on the channel, hit me up. Other than that, if you want to see more videos like this, please click up here. If you want to subscribe, click over there, and you know the drill, ring the bell. And if you want to hear my own music, which is definitely not metal, click over there. Remember to be amazing, and we'll see you next time on Room 6. Say goodbye, guys.
See ya.
See ya.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-bum. There's always one.